I'm just going to throw this one at VFL Jacob Warren. It's actually a super chat on our YouTube page. Jacob's appearance brought to you by Peak IV Hydration. We're going to talk about not overlooking Mississippi State. So we'll tell you more about Peak IV Hydration. But Timothy decided to throw a super chat in there. So we want to get to that, as all super chats will go to 4-month-old Quincy Calhoun's college fund. Jacob, Timothy said, I have a complaint for sports writers saying that Kettleman, I think he means Kitzelman, should have held on to the ball after getting blown up. You're wrong for that. I think that pass was a little bit late. So I kind of had it at 50-50. He's talking about, you know what play I'm talking about, Jacob. What did you think of that?
Again, I think that it is the quarterback's job to put the ball in a position to where you can catch the ball, right? I think if you do get your hands on the ball and it's realistic for you to, have possession of the football, I think it's always a possibility that you come down with it. You see people make insane catches all the time, but you also see stuff like this happen where, like, let's be real, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is just what it is. And so, I don't know, dude, you can say whatever I guess you want to say, you know what I mean? And I think until you're really in that position, it's kind of hard to tell whose fault it was. Obviously Miles is probably like, dang, like that's on me. But then Nico also, when he goes back and looks at the film, would be like, dang, that's on me. You know what I mean? I think that once you have that level of I guess understanding and of accountability and just of trust with each other, Nico, I 100% guarantee you went up to him and was like, hey, like that one's like, sorry, yeah, got to give you better, got to be earlier, got to be on time, however you want to call it. But at the same time, Miles is looking at himself like, I'm the biggest guy on this field right now, at least biggest skill position guy, right?
Right.
I'm the biggest one on this field right now. Like, if anybody can take that shot and catch that ball, it's me. So I think that's that is the dynamic that you would see Sunday or after the game, or even Saturday after it happens. You know what I'm saying? That is the interaction I think that those two have.
Yep. I thought it was 50-50. Would you agree with that?
I'd say that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Peak IV Hydration. Go to peakivhydration.com. Live life to your fullest. Hydrate, rejuvenate, and elevate your health with Peak IV Hydration. South Knoxville and Sevierville. It just absolutely works, Jacob. And people need to know that. They need to know the locations. We'll drop the URL in the chat. And they also need to know that with Peak IV Hydration, you can order that patch. And I've used the patch for energy, and it's consistent, like an 8-hour energy boost throughout the day. And you've gotten the IV before. peakivhydration.com works.
Yeah, and I think that exactly what you said earlier is that people just need to know about it. Obviously, that's what we're here for, is to let you know about it. But knowledge is power, man. I think something about this is people are a little bit skeptical. People are a little bit, on the fence about it. But learning about it and informing yourself about it, obviously, is the smart idea. So, obviously, if that's something you're interested in, click the link and you guys can go check them out for yourself. But obviously, me and Dave, great things to say about Peak IV. The guys over there, the girls over there are fantastic, and they've helped each of us in our daily lives. So we obviously recommend that you go try it out too.
Let me ask you a question about Mississippi State. Tennessee is a 24-point favorite for those interested in that sort of thing.
Caleb.
Which would be, Caleb. Sure. It's Caleb, the gambling degenerate.
He's not talking at all. You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that.
Right. He just got a Jacob shot. That was awesome.
Your teammates really let me down over the weekend. I had Tennessee.
Trust me.
Wait, not only did I have Tennessee covering, but I had the under. Guess what the over-under was, Jacob?
I actually don't know what it was.
45.5. Guess how many points were scored in the game?
Hate to break it to you.
It sounds like 46.
This historically great defense that I didn't think would let Kentucky cross midfield. I think Jacob told them, "Hey guys, just let them score like 18 points."
Just 18. 18 is all we need, guys. That's funny.
In all sincerity, and we'll bring it back to Mississippi State, 24-point favorites. Were you guys aware of the line? I know that coaches have used it before. I mean, were you guys aware that you're mega favorites or anything like that?
No, I think if you were to think about, okay, what do you think the line is this week? You could probably guess it to about 1 or 2 points, and then you would look at the box and you'd be like, oh yeah, cool, we were right. but nobody really like pays attention to that stuff. I think a lot of people think people care about it and pay attention to it on that side of it, but I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, you've seen a line be at, you know, 24 and the team come out and get blown out, or a team come out and win by 50, or a team come out and, you know what I'm saying, not be able to actually score any points. So, yeah, you see stuff like that all the time, but it comes to a certain point where you just don't even care anymore, honestly, because it quite literally has nothing to do with what goes on. So,
agreed.
Jacob, let me ask you this about Mississippi State. And you guys found yourself in this situation a couple of years ago during the South Carolina debacle. And what I mean is this: and I'm not trying to just rehash that game, but it was a night. Yeah. It was a night game. You guys were in the college football playoff race.
Yeah.
And I think you saw this with Kentucky over the weekend. I unveiled for the first time last week Tennessee football's college football playoff rooting interest. I always wait till November because you have to see how things shake out before you know who to root for. When you play a team like Mississippi State that's not, you know, top 25, not even top 50 really, and it's at night, how hard is it to get up for the game when you can tell me y'all don't, but I don't believe that you guys don't spend all day looking at the TV, seeing like who's winning and losing that's going to affect your college football playoff hopes?
Sure. I think to be completely honest, yeah, we're all around the TV. Yeah, like that's all we do. Like, you have nothing else to do but watch the games before you and think about, okay, cool. Like you watch Georgia. I don't know when their buys are or whatever. I don't know if they're playing this weekend, but yeah, of course, if Georgia is playing this weekend, you're going to sit there and you're going to watch the game, because why would you not? If you're just a fan of football, I guess, and you're just a fan of good teams and you know you're going to be playing them next week, yeah, you go when you watch the game. I don't think it necessarily I don't think it psychs you out, or I don't think it really changes your mentality, but I always kind of found enjoyment of watching teams either that we've already played in the season. So like you would go and watch the Kentucky game this week and be like, oh yeah, that kid, I remember, you know, literally looking him in the eyes last week. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost just it was really cool for me to just see, okay, this is this player I've been watching on TV for forever, and now I'm standing right here in front of them, and you know, I either know everything he's going to do or I don't, depending on my preparation. But yeah, you've seen the story 100 times. You know what I mean? You've watched the film and stuff. So I think, yes, to answer your question roundabout, yeah, we watch the games, but I don't think it necessarily changes the way you feel about your game or about the game the next week or whatever. But for sure, the entertaining thing to pass the time for a night game, especially when you're, you know, feel like you're prepared for the game coming up.
What do you think of Tennessee's approach to Mississippi State? Are you all at all concerned that this could be a game in which they overlook? Is that something that happens in SEC games?
Yeah, I mean, again, like Caleb said, you see it all the time. You've seen it in years past with us. Luckily, it doesn't really happen all the time, or it doesn't happen every year. You know what I mean? But it happens, and I think that, you know, it's just one of those things that you have to acknowledge it at the beginning of the week, and you say, all right, Monday practice, like, this is not what we're doing. We're not going to start, you know, giving into this, whatever the media is saying, whatever people like us are saying about, oh, it's all about Georgia, blah, 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 whatever. We're not getting into that. We're here. We're focusing on this. Obviously, there's probably going to be some things that go in this week that might be for next week's plan. And they just kind of go in, and you're like, hey, guys, like, we're going to practice this just in case we need to use it this week, but we're really thinking next week. Like there's all type of stuff like that goes on. But like truly, like it's 1 week seasons, man. And if you don't play that way, you get burned. And this team's been burned in the past, and this team will be burned in the future if that's not the way that you approach it. So if you learn from your mistakes, if you know history repeats itself, then you can avoid that hopefully. But then again, you could also go out there and put a good game together, and Mississippi State come out and they put a really good game together, and now you find yourself in a dogfight, right? Because that's what this league's about, and that's what college football is about. So, yeah, you never actually know.
Jacob, when how much does it get more difficult too with football? As I'm sure you know, many teams that may start off the year horrible get better as the season goes on, but their record doesn't show it. How often do you guys run into a November team where maybe they were 2-8, 1-7, but what you didn't pay attention to was that they got better as the year was going on, and it just didn't show up in their record, and then it caught you by surprise?
Yeah, I think, luckily for us right now, I think the same thing could be said about a Tennessee team that's trying to find their way. You know what I mean? Like if this team played Tennessee at the beginning of the season well, I guess we scored a lot of points in the beginning of the season. Not quite scored as many points as we were then, but I think it is trends, and I think if you're smart, you look at stuff like that. I think that's a really good point of a team that their record might not show. They might only have 3 wins, but those 3 wins are the last 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's a great trend. That's a great, I guess, sign for a football team. I mean, you look at, and I don't want to overlook them either, but you look at Mississippi State, right? And 0-5 in conference, 0-3 away games. You know what I mean? Like there's things that are just pretty consistent. Lost to a Toledo team that's kind of middle of the MAC. Like there's a lot of, there's a lot of things you look at, and it's just like how, if we go out there and just handle what we're supposed to handle, it shouldn't matter. How they're trending or how they're playing right now. Like we have better players and we have a better scheme, and truly just with the environment being at home, like it should be something that the team's able to easily handle.
Now, and I look at this Mississippi State team, and it's worth noting that I think Caleb said that they would be one of the surprise teams in the nation before the season. Is that right, Caleb?
I'm a believer in Jeff Levy. And
wow.
Guys, this is a bad year for me. We're just going to
listen. Wow. Levy's a good coach, man. He's a good coach.
Yeah, he's got the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl too, I believe.
I do not.
By
the way, I got Will Levis right. I said he was a terrible draft pick, and I'm a Titans fan, so kind of nailed that one.
Yeah.
By the way, Jacob, did you see the clip where Dak Prescott was saying we bleep and stink?
Of course. Yeah.
Have you ever been, not with Heupel, but previously in your career, have you ever been in the middle of a game thinking,
nope,
oh my Lord, we're horrible?
Nope. Never happened. Never happened.
Not one time.
Jacob, I'm going to challenge you on that. You're telling me during the Jerry Pruitt years where you guys.
Here you go. See you guys.
Getting back to State for a second, you've obviously done some homework on them. How much homework have you done on Georgia, or have you even seen them? Because I think they're a quarterback, which is a big hurdle, a quarterback away from being the best team in the country. I'm just not high on Carson Beck. You?
Played against him for a while, obviously. Played against a lot of good quarterbacks at that school specifically. Again, obviously he's getting the job done for them, and they're winning games and they have a good team, and they're still considered one of the better teams in the nation. I think just for that alone, I think obviously he's a good quarterback, right? But I do understand what you're saying, and it seems like those teams that just feel unbeatable have always had a Stetson Bennett, have always had a Bryce Young, have always had a Tua Tagovailoa, has always had these guys that are just nationally known as the best quarterback, and there's no debate, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I don't think he really fits into that category right now. You know what I'm saying? And there's no shade against him. Like I said, he's doing everything he needs to do as far as putting the team in position to win games. But no, I think that's one of the big reasons why I feel this team is very beatable. Is just purely based on the fact that they don't have that guy back there. And we'll see how it shakes out. Everybody talks about their defense versus their offense. Everybody talks about our defense versus our offense. So it'll be good to see kind of these two juggernauts collide, I guess, if you will, and see how our defense holds up. But I think you get back to them. I think, again, here we are, dude. What are we doing, Dave? Why are we talking about Georgia, man? It's Mississippi State week. We're talking about Georgia.
I messed it up. You can do that in the media now.
Yeah, I can do it now. But no, I think you get back to them a few times. You kind of rattle that offensive line a few times, and the defense takes over just like it has in the past. And if they're able to do that, I think that they give themselves a really good chance. Hit your deep balls, efficient run game, you'll have a good chance of winning that one. But
we'll share this question from Timothy on the super chat. Why can't Heupel ever go under center for red zone scoring or running for 3 yards or clocking the football? I think he has gone under center quite a few times.
Yes.
That's one of the things I praise about Josh Heupel is and Jacob, actually it's a random question I wanted to ask you. Like, he did that with you guys 2 years ago in an era where everybody gets in shotgun for a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. How much do you, as a tight end, as a guy who loves to block, love the fact that Josh Heupel wanted to get under center for plays?
It's like it mathematically doesn't make sense to be in the shotgun on third short, right?
Thank
it
you.
just doesn't. You're subtracting 5 yards or adding 5 yards of total gain that you have to make to get the first down, right? And that's always kind of how I felt, especially when you have really, really solid interior offensive linemen. I think that's kind of your limitation at some points is your short yardage game about how much drive, how much movement can you get on the interior, and how much penetration you can prevent on the exterior of your offensive line. So essentially, if you can build a shield on the outside and be able to actually push forward on the inside, you should get every single third and short ever, right? It should like look at the Eagles, right? They have the strongest front three and they have the strongest quarterback in the league. Like, what do you think is gonna happen, right? It's purely just science at that point. But no, I agree with you, Caleb. Like, I've never understood the whole shotgun thing, and when we get into it, it's like I'm not going to question it, right? Because if it works, it works. But I'll address, Timothy. I do kind of see what you're saying. There's been times when it seems like, why are we not under center? Like, we've gotten away from that style of the ball. But I thought it was really cool whenever it was, I guess, 2 years ago, and we got under center for like a goal line or like a short yardage or something, and like you could hear the crowd cheer. Like, people were happy. They were like, "Oh my god, is he under center right now?" Like, just because that was not a normal thing. And obviously we're still perfecting it and things like that. But I think our third down efficiency has been a little bit better, and I think we're starting to kind of figure that out. Red zone, you for sure want some answers. Just as far as being efficient down there, scoring touchdowns down there, rather than field goals. Obviously, it stinks. Old Max, had 3 the other day that got away from him. Luckily, it didn't come back to hurt us. But you love to finish those 3 field goals with 3 points, but you also love to just finish them with 6 points. So we could talk about it all day, and that's going to be the epitome of what wins football games. So.
Yep. Jacob, great stuff. Brought to you by Peak IV Hydration. Again, Peak IV Hydration. Jacob, it works.
Yep, it does. And it obviously, go check the link, read about it, learn about it, as we mentioned earlier, educate yourself, make that decision for yourself whether that's something you want to indulge in. But we endorse it. We love it. Can't recommend it enough.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Jacob. We will talk to you soon.
Yeah, y'all take care.